Woody loved school. His list of things that he loved was growing. He loved God, he loved his mama, he loved his siblings, and he loved school. And what he liked best about school was his mind would be occupied all day with stuff that he was really good at, like answering questions. But one of Woody's favorite things about school was he didn't have to worry about what he's going to eat. Woody would go to school, and the cafeteria lady served these beautiful dishes. They give you some kind of meat, weird looking meat. They give you a soft yeast roll, a dessert, fruit cocktail, and a milk. And Woody's favorite two things were the milk and the roll. Normally because the bullies at school would take Woody's meat to taunt him. So Woody learned that he could just get the yeast rolls, put ketchup on them, and make himself a ketchup sandwich and drink his milk. And the other thing was most of the girls in the cafeteria never ate their rolls or drank the milk. So Woody had tons of food. He would even sometimes take the yeast rolls, wrap them in a napkin, and stick them in his pocket. It had been 2 days since Woody had gone to school, because it had been 2 days since Woody had seen Mama. Mama left 2 nights ago in the rain with some guy that Woody had never seen before and said she was going to the fair. And that she's going to bring Woody back a nice teddy bear. Big teddy bear so that all of his friends would be jealous. And there's one thing Woody knew more than anything else, and that's that Mama never lied to him. So Mama was coming back. Now, Mama had left plenty of bottles of milk for the baby. Oh yeah, that's right, y'all haven't met the baby. The baby was born. His name is Man. So now there's Woody, who's 5. There's Lala, who's 3. There's Rollo, who's 2. And there's Man, who is just born. And Mama left Woody with all 3 of them and about 8 bottles of milk and a little bit of food, and told Woody very specifically, when you get hungry, call Grandma and she'll come get you. Now Woody figured if he just waited it out and prayed and asked God to bring Mama back home, that everything would be okay. So it's been 2 days. Woody, Lala, Rollo, and Man are at home. They've run out of sugar and they've run out of bread, because for the last 2 days they've been surviving off of sugar sandwiches. Delicious, something Mama would never let them eat, because Mama would always cook for them. But Mama's gone, and Woody's not allowed to touch the stove. And besides, the refrigerator's empty with the exception of 1 more bottle of milk. Woody's outside playing with bugs, because that's kind of what he does to get his mind off of missing his mama. And he missed her something awful. Mama was his best friend. They talked about everything. That's how Woody learned about God. Mama wouldn't go to church because Mom said she was a sinner and she should never set foot in the house of the Lord because of all the sins she had done. Woody didn't understand that because Mom read stories in the Bible about how Jesus loved everybody and that Jesus came back so that everybody, no matter who they were, could enter into the house of God. So Woody was getting a little bit confused as to why Mama couldn't enter into the house of God. Did God not like his mama? There's something wrong with this whole concept of God in Woody's head. And now Woody's belly is rolling and all he can think about is getting a yeast roll from school. But Lala and Rollo are too young, they don't go to school. Woody's 5, he's in kindergarten. And Lala and Rollo and the baby don't go to school. Because since the last time we talked, Woody's mama's lost her job. And she's got a new baby. And the food is scarce, far and few between. Most of the food they get comes from Grandma dropping food off at the house every few days. Right before Mama left, Grandma had just dropped off some food. So Woody figured Grandma knows when the food runs out somehow, and she'll show up. But Grandma hadn't shown up, and Woody didn't want to go to Grandma's house. Because whenever he went to Grandma's house, Grandma wouldn't let him come back to his mom. And that all became this big debacle. And Woody, being 5 years old, had a lot of responsibilities. So Woody said a prayer to God. God, please let my mama come home. Please, you can fix this. Anything I've ever asked you for, you've given. But why haven't you talked to me in these last few days, Lord? And this is a 5-year-old's prayer to God. Lala starts to cry. He can hear her inside the house. So Wootie turns around, goes in the house. Lala's sitting on the floor with her thumb in her mouth and her little broken doll in her arms saying she wants mama. And she's crying unconsolably. Rollo's laying on her lap, crying also that he wants mama. And the baby is screaming in the background. Wootie grabs that last bottle out of the refrigerator, puts it in the baby's mouth, and knows that he's going to have to call grandma. But where's God when I need him? I asked God to send mama back home, and he didn't send her back home. I asked God for food, and he didn't give her food. He didn't give us food. He didn't give anybody food. Is this all imaginary? Is this all in my head like grandma said? Is this person or entity or whatever you call it that I feel flowing through me, is it real? All I want to do is go to school. I'm 5 years old. I want to go to school. I want to eat some food. I want to be smart so that I can buy my mama a house when I grow up. But God won't let me. So now my mama's disappeared, the baby's hungry, and I got to call the one person on the planet I don't want to call. And that's grandma. Because grandma's going to take us from mom. Grandma is not going to tolerate this. And Wootie knows it. But it's not about Wootie at this point. It's about his siblings. And Wootie knows that he's about to go down a road that there's no turning back from. And he picks up the phone as the baby sucks the last of the milk. And he calls grandma. Now, let's go backwards in time a little bit. This is episode 3. In episode 1, Wootie's devoutly believing in this God that he's been taught about. And there's nothing you can do to tell him that there is no such thing as God. Wootie even goes outside and feels the presence of God in everything around him. And in episode 2, Wootie learns pretty much that mom is not as faithful about God as she's taught him to be, because she's thinking about giving up the baby. And here we are, and now there's a baby that Wootie prayed to God that mama would keep, and so mama kept it. So isn't this God? Isn't this God changing mama's mind about giving the baby away? So Wootie prays to God. Now he's got a baby. Mama disappears, and he's stuck at home away from school with 2 siblings that he's got to babysit. He's a kid. He doesn't understand. So where is his faith in God supposed to go at this point? What is it that Wootie is supposed to learn from this experience? So what are our lessons from today? What is Wootie supposed to do with all the things that are going on with him? What is he supposed to learn from this? What is he supposed to believe? How is he supposed to believe in God? And furthermore, where are the adults in this situation? What is their responsibility? What is our responsibility as Christians? Are we supposed to intervene in this? Is this not the mission field? Or are we supposed to just sit back, continue to worship God, and allow this to happen to Wootie and the other children like him? So next week, we'll find out what happens to Wootie. And as I said before, I won't give you the title to Wootie episode 4 because it's a giveaway of what's going to happen. But I'll see you next week, and hopefully you guys will respond to some of these questions, and let's get some feedback going here so that we can further promote these videos. Thanks. Bye-bye.